What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. Thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, that's a weird noise. Well, it's all right. And today we're going to talk about why feminists are spoiled brats. But I think I might freestyle a little bit to it first. You can Uber Eats to your door now. You don't have to cook or clean anyhow. You can go to a desk job. You can bang your high school heartthrob on Tinder. We can really do it all now. We can wait till 40 to have a kid. Get IVF and tell everybody that we didn't. But we will do what we do best. What we do better than the rest. Complain. Nag, complain, be a fucking drag, complain, and still call ourselves trad, complain, and fucking nag. Why cook when you could have a Starbucks coffee in the morning? Why watch your kids when some lady named Abuela can do it for you? Why make dinner when you could Uber Eats? Why be a wife when you could be for the streets? Why on earth would you do anything right when you can just nag and put up a fight? We're gonna nag. We're gonna be a fucking drag. Gonna nag. Yeah, we're gonna nag. Ooh, thank you, got you. Thank you. You know, you could say I was made to do this, you know. I actually think it's crazy that I have a job. And that's what I mean. I mean, feminism, it has been great for women, right? I don't like this idea. I don't like it when conservatives pretend that feminism has not done amazing things for women. Okay. It's pretty amazing that we can have a kid, go bang another guy, and make our ex-husband pay for it. I mean, that's incredible for women, right? It is at the expense of men, right? I mean, that's not great for men, but for women, that's incredible. Absurd, right? It's incredible that you can be so spiteful that you can just, any guy you don't like, you just throw him in jail. I mean, that's incredible, right? I mean, I don't want to, sorry, I need to clarify because people tend to clip me out of context. I'm not trying to say that it's a good thing, but in terms of, you know, we got to stop pretending that women don't have power, right? Horrible singing, but thank you. You make a man happy. It wasn't horrible. You guys can't gaslight me anymore. It wasn't perfect, but that was pretty good. That was off the top. You know, I don't write these notes ahead of time. I'm a woman. We can't do anything ahead of time. We're late to everything. So, you know, feminism has empowered women. And I think that's an important distinguishment. Is that feminism has given women the power to do whatever we want and take all the credit for it, right? It's given us the power to fly automatic planes and crash them and blame the man, right? It's given us the power to take jobs we don't deserve and get overpaid for them. You know? It has empowered women to really do whatever we want. So now, unfortunately, we have a ceiling as women. And I'm getting a little nervous talking about this stream, not because I think it's going to get taken down, but I just want to be articulate. And I think this is really important, right? But a lot of times when I make these shows, I really am writing about my observations. I think I'm going to take off my sweater. It's kind of hot. In real life, and just watching women, it just seems like we have a ceiling, right? There's just, I don't know if it's that we're incapable or nobody makes us. I don't know the reason, but like, it doesn't seem like we can really invent things like that. It doesn't seem like we can really do structure like that. That seems pretty much impossible for us. I don't know why. You know, it seems like we're addicted to wasting time and doing things in the most inefficient way possible. It seems like, and I, you know, a lot of people come at me and they say, Pearl, but what about you? You know, and, you know, a lot of these simps, they'll message me and they'll say, oh, Pearl, you're the perfect woman. And I'm like, how do you think I know this stuff? I see myself do retarded things all the time. And I'll observe it. I'll feel myself getting frustrated and angry. Like, I'll give you an example. All right. In this room, I designed a set. And I had this set idea, and I told them to build this set. It was right over there, this way. And I had this idea. They built it, and it was just the most inefficient set ever. And I asked two men, one with experience in the industry, one without, how they would set up my studio here. And both of them had better ideas than me. And I work in this industry, and I just sat there. And, you know, I'll tell my dad, he's just such a cool guy. I told my dad I would be his best witness in court, because my dad would never commit a crime. But if he did, I'm like, Dad, you better have me on the witness stand. And my dad will always tell him, don't put me on a pedestal. I'm like, see, that's how great you are. You don't even want to be on a pedestal. You're so awesome. Like, but my dad, he tends to think I'm a little bit too like extreme, right? He tends to think that I go, I think I'm gonna, because I like the blue. I think the blue looks kind of good. Hold on, I'm gonna turn the heat down slightly. I'm gonna turn it down slightly. Hold on. So now my father, he tends to think I'm a little bit extreme, which is kind of crazy, right? He'll always say things like, it's not men versus women, you know, be more. But, you know, the older I get, the more I'm like, Dad, I'm kind of right. And I think it's because my dad employed a lot of women. He had a lot of great women that worked for him, and he totally did. But women are still women, right? All right, we got to ban some people in the chat. Look, if you're being disruptive for no reason, we gotta let you go. No hate, you know, you're welcome, but you gotta chill out, guys. All right, where are we going? What was I talking about? I don't even remember. This is what happens to me in debates. You know, I get going and then somebody interrupts me and I'm like, what the fuck was I talking about? That's why they do it. It works so well because I'm actually quite informative. If you don't interrupt me and you just let me talk for a little bit, right? Oh, women are inefficient, right? Women are inefficient. My dad is all okay. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So, and I'm not saying that women can't, be efficient or like work with things or whatever, but we got to be honest, there seems to be an upper limit. And just from my observations, that upper limit seems to be managing people over a certain number. We just can't keep track of them. Handling stress doesn't really seem to be in our wheelhouse. Being direct, inventing things, sticking to a structure and a routine. Like I'll give you an example where my dad said I went too far. Now, who remembers when that plane crashed on the East Coast and like 300 people died? I remember when the plane crashed, I told my dad, Dad, that was a woman. My dad was like, no, it wasn't a woman. And again, my dad's so intelligent. I hate telling him he's wrong. But I had to in this situation. I really had to, right? And I'm like, Dad, just wait. And so then first the pilot, it comes out who was flying the actual plane, right? That crashed and that all the people died. And it was a man. And my dad's like, see? And I'm like, Dad, just wait. I promise to God, just wait. And so my dad, then it comes out the helicopter actually caused the plane to crash. And I'm like, Dad, see? And then it comes out that, out of the helicopter, like 2 of the guys were men, and that comes out next. And I'm like, Dad, see? You see the, or sorry, my dad says to me, see? And I'm like, no, Dad, just wait. Then it finally comes out, and they really tried to hide this, that it was a woman flying this helicopter. And she was a DEI, like Biden specialist woman. And I'm like, see, Dad? And my dad goes, no, she was being trained, right? That's the person who's training her's job to like make sure she doesn't mess up. And I'm like, okay, Dad, let's just wait. And it turns out he actually told her not to do what she did. And she refused to listen and then killed everybody. And I'm like, that's women, Dad. And I'm like, Dad, how many times have you told me not to do something? I did it and I fucked up, right? I'm not trying to pretend I'm different. And I tell my dad, I'm like, Dad, all the women in your life are complete burdens to you. I mean, even me, like I had to go home for 2 years because I messed this up, and I love you to death, but you gotta, and he's like, it's not men versus women. And I'm like, really? Because your sons, because I'm 1 of 10, right? They just seem to do fine and be efficient and figure it out. Where the daughters, when I move, I need your help or I need another guy's help. I'm like, Dad, we're losers, all of us. Women, right? So another interesting thing that happened this week, there were some people that I was friends with in the past. And a lot of them have, they've been coming out of the woodworks lately and they're like, Pearl, how did you come? Why are you like this? You weren't like this before. So this is, if there's 2 women watching, I'll tell you how I became like this. A lot of people think it was trauma. And some of the opinions they cited is that I don't think women should vote. I think women kind of suck at everything. And I wouldn't say that was maybe my opinion always, right? I've always leaned conservative. But I wouldn't say I was this gendered in the past. I didn't always notice it, And they're like, Pearl was fun. She did all this fun stuff. And, I'm still a fun gal, right? I still hang out. But I got to be honest. I just observe the world and I got to be honest with what I'm seeing. Both personally, the data, and professionally, women just don't really do as much as men. And I have a lot of observations I'm going to go through on the show today. A lot of observations. But the other thing I don't realize, a lot of women don't realize, is how insufferable and not easy to talk to they are. Many women are very liberal and they're very insufferable liberal. So everybody around them tiptoes around them and they have no idea. I'm sure the liberals do it to me. I'm sure I could be insufferable as well, right? I'm not, this is probably a 2-way street. But there's times in your life where you just think it's not really worth it to argue, right? I'm trying to play volleyball, or I'm trying to do this, right? You know. So all right, let me continue. All right, so why do I think modern women don't work hard jobs? Now, I got a lot of pushback because there's a clip of me going viral where Anna Kasparian comes at me and she says, "But Pearl, what are we going to do if women aren't in healthcare?" And I said, "Give the job to the men, they do it better." And a lot of people gave me pushback. How can I, as a non-healthcare employee, say, that the women can do the job better, or that the men can do the job better? But from my observations, men tend to get things done where women tend to gossip at work, and women tend to create a lot of drama at work, waste a lot of time, and find the most inefficient ways to do things. Even growing up, right? My dad, I remember one time my mom and my dad were like cleaning the garage, and my mom kept trying to give her opinion, right? And I'm like, "Mom, here we go." And my mom had this really organized way of doing things, but it was how do I put it? It was very useless, if that makes sense. Like, it was overkill. Like, we didn't need to do all that. And my dad, he just thinks this is the quickest way to get this thing done. And that just tends to be how work goes. Women find the most inefficient way to do things. And I've seen this at home and my job in the work. Even me, like, sometimes I'll want to talk at work. I worked in a 100% male office, and I bet if you asked them, I probably wasted a lot of their time talking to me. So let's react to the video that initially went viral. Also, I'm on TikTok. I called the account Hush or something, so you guys can follow me there if you want. And a lot of women, they act like me observing this is saying that I hate women. I don't. It's not that I hate women, but, I don't hate children for saying they're not adults. And that's the way I feel about women. I don't hate women by saying we're not men. And there's an upper floor of what we can really do. And as a woman, just personally, you become a lot happier when you realize that, So
talk about patriarchy and misogyny, and they try to give examples. I love it. But I do think the most obvious glaring example of the patriarchy is the fact that we have never in the history of time ever had a woman be the president of the United States.
Yeah, because we're not good enough. And that's the female privilege, is we can fail at something and blame patriarchy. If men fail, it's because they're failures. But when women fail, it's always somebody else's fault.
It almost has become, oh, well, that's just normal. No, that's not normal. Men are the only ones who have ever held the highest position in the government. No woman. But yes, we're so equal. Oh, well, actually, we're legally not equal to men. And that is a great point. How could a
Well, I wish I could go on her show. I would cook her.
Woman even be the president of the United States when we don't even have equal rights to half of the population that the woman would be governing over? Anyways, I interviewed Michelle.
What rights do women not have? And the thing is, women like this, her dad paid for her life until she was like 21. She went to school on loans, or her father paid for it. I don't know which. They've never experienced the real world. And then she gets a DEI job because it's paid for by women with men's money. And that's how this whole thing is inflated. Feminism is giving women men's money without having had to earn it, either through easy jobs, sex work, or what do you call it? Government benefits. So women start to believe they are as good as men, because a lot of the downstream effects of it is women like this getting propped up. She's paid for by women that take men's money, right? Or they put it on credit cards that they can't afford, that eventually men pay off. generally.
Obama. And I was just talking about this on my Instagram, but I wanted to say it here. We are in a horrific time in the world. There are no words to even describe.
All right. So she lives in a major city, got rich, talking for a living. Talking. And has the audacity to say this is a terrible time to be alive. Fuck you. Fuck, you're a spoiled brat. That's how I feel about it. Go fuck yourself. There are men on oil rigs. There are men, when men do logging, they're chopping down the tree and then they have to run so the tree doesn't fall on them. And you're saying this is a terrible time to be a woman in your apartment in a major city that you got your money by talking for a living. The ego is just incredible. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, because I interview normal average Americans all the time. And I just cannot imagine being in your position and being so out of touch and ungrateful. Fuck you. Fuck you.
What is happening. And I think as a creator, she talks about how you essentially, if you have a platform, you have a loaded gun. And I think it's painful where I'm like, it feels so self-indulgent to be.
God, I'm going to pray. God, in the next 2 years, let me debate her. Let me debate this woman.
Posting selfies and to be posting all these things right now when it's like, look at what is happening in the world. And I'm not saying that people need to use their platforms 24/7 for change and to be so serious, because I think something that's so beautiful about the internet is it brings such levity and humor, and it gives us an outlet from all the fucked up shit that's going on in the world. However, when Michelle talks about the reason someone should not have a third term is because we need new voices, we need new ideas. And that is where we all come in. This older generation did some
the ego. And it's just incredible. I get a lot of flack because I don't have all the solutions, but I would much rather say I don't have all the answers than be like this. I would rather say I don't have all the answers than have this ego where you think you have an answer to anything. When you got famous talking about the Gluck Gluck 9000 for a living, you've got to go fuck yourself. I have cousins in the military. I have relatives that have put their lives on the line for this country. And the fact that you complain about everything, about anything ever, fuck you. Fuck you. That's how I feel about it.
Great things and did some horrible things, but it is now time for our generation to actually step up and to talk and to be honest about what we want out of this country. I don't know. I personally left just feeling inspired.
What more do you want?
And I'm not saying that Call Her Daddy is going to just change overnight, but I do promise to have honest conversations. I have done multiple episodes on women's rights, and so many people shit on me. And I'm like, if human rights and women being equal to men is controversial to you, then you can get the fuck off my page. Women are still not equal to men. It is 2026. What the fuck is wrong with the world? So if you are a woman or a man, I urge you to listen to this Michelle Obama interview, because what it did was put in perspective. I know that the world feels like we have essentially lost our humanity, but
bruh, you're a brat.
Michelle Obama is one of the most influential, brilliant women. And the way that she essentially dispels down.
And the way that she got famous was a man, right? She's not famous because of her accomplishments. It's a man's accomplishments. Even Call Her Daddy, you're famous because you were sucking off men, right? You talk about men. I mean, that's how you got famous.
This information to us. She has seen this country. She has.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Now, mind you, this is another video on her TikTok. Okay, I'm going to turn off the sound. She's going into a first class seat with champagne and complaining that women aren't equal. Go fuck yourself. I hate. All right, let's see the next one. Oh, here is a vlog of her. The women like this, they're so insufferable because they say they worked so hard. You can put a lot of effort into something. I put a lot of effort into this show, But to act like what I do compares to like what the men in this country do to keep everything running is just laughable. It's laughable. And like the other day, I saw a clip of an OnlyFans model telling people to work hard. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you.
The father. You may be asking, where are we going?
Going to Los Angeles.
The city of angels.
I'm about to sleep the entire flight.
No, sweetie. Too much work.
Guess what we got?
The company card. At Dave Portnoy, thanks so much. We're going to spend $10K today, and it's going to be a ton. What should we get, guys?
I'm getting this cinnamon.
I mean, that's what she's complaining about. All right. All right. So I had this tweet that kind of went viral. And it said, not that viral, but, a little bit. I said, things women suck at: watching kids, raising kids, cooking and cleaning. And the reason I said this is I really think we give women too much credit, because in my observations, women are not good, at any of those things. And I could use examples from my personal life and also my professional life. For example, I have a dog, right? And I have noticed that my dog listens better. Like if I have a boyfriend and he reprimands the dog, my dog listens better to the boyfriend than to me. And it's the same thing with kids. My sister works at a daycare, and the kids that come from single mother households, she sees the difference and the lack of discipline in the home. Women are not good at raising kids. We're not. We need instruction from men. The biggest mistake men make is thinking that we're good at cooking, good at clean. Women are good at finding the most inefficient ways to cook, clean, raise and watch kids. If women don't have instruction, and I could say this for myself and any woman ever, we just find the most inefficient way to do things. Okay. So let's talk about the top jobs in America. Okay, what are the top jobs? So, because again, women kind of suck at a lot of things. All right. Top male jobs: operations managers, truck drivers, construction trades, retail, surprised me, cooks, and food prep workers are actually one of the most common male jobs. Women: registered nurses, preschool teachers, customer service, personal care aides, and office clerks. So let's compare some of the top male jobs versus women, right? Let's see who's doing more work, All right, I think I have to turn off the sound because. So he packs his lunch. And I want you guys to notice how the men actually do more food prep than the women in a lot of these. Look at the house is pretty clean, in order. At 3 a.m. he gets up for work. A 4.5-hour drive to get to work. Now, mind you, his fiance could have cooked him a meal, didn't, right? Gets a breakfast burrito. The lunch that he packed, right? Wrap up, 7 p.m. goes home. Oh no, he goes to an Airbnb. Now, I want you to notice, and this is observations I've had. When women cook, we tend to buy a lot of the pre-made and like pre-cut stuff where men will chop their own stuff. So that makes the cooking a little bit more difficult, right? So that's like a full meal. Okay. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Here's another guy. So let's see what he's doing. I mean, okay, the sound we can't do. Working day in the life. All right, so mind you, he doesn't have a big get ready routine. You can tell when women actually work and are poor when they don't wear a lot of makeup or do their hair. Like today, this is why I look homeless a lot. This, you see, I look a little nicer today. It takes me an hour. Shower, dry my hair, do my makeup. Maybe some girls can do it faster, but that takes me about an hour, sometimes longer. So, and notice when they eat, a lot of times if it's either an energy drink, which is going to be cheaper than like a Starbucks drink. We're going to compare and contrast the men versus the women. They eat a lot more meals where women tend to drink a lot of their calories. So he packed a lunch, apple. So again, that's a full. Oh, got ice cream. Okay. Okay. So there's another guy. All right. Let's see if this one we can do sound. Okay. Why did.
Day in the life plus the pay.
Good, I think this is all right. Yeah.
On an offshore oil rig. So first off, yes, they can be annoying with the waves and they're absolutely massive. These offshore oil rigs are like mini cities in the ocean. This here is your own private room that you get on the oil rig that is all covered for by the company. Sometimes you do have to share the room with somebody else depending on the rig you work with, but more often than not, this is with your friend, so it doesn't actually really matter. You also do get on and off the oil rig on these baskets here. They literally lower you down over the ocean and then a boat underneath like picks you up. It's kind of mad. Typically you're on an offshore oil rig for 2 weeks at a time and the days are 12-hour long. But look at this here is the pay. So often you can expect to earn around 200,000 on these offshore oil rigs. Obviously if you're in a beginner or an entry-level role, it'll be closer to the 100,000 mark. Nevertheless, these offshore oil rigs do pay extremely well. They also have many different facilities on board. So that there was a knitting room. This here is a library. This here is the games room. We even got a pool table here, guitars. This is the music room.
Cool.
And we also have a fully functional equipped gym on site. These offshore oil rigs, as I already said, are like mini cities. This one here even has a basketball court. So you can work here. You basically have zero expenses on board because all your food and accommodation is paid for, and you can earn well over 6 figures in an offshore oil rig. If you're serious about getting into an offshore oil rig, we have a complete step-by-step guide.
Okay, this is like a guide they're trying to sell you. Here.
Is not available at present.
Let me do this. This is the job they kind of skipped over. Yeah, that's the job they're doing, right? And women keep saying that we're oppressed, but it's going to bite us in the ass because now men are starting to record their days and what they're doing. They're not complaining or whatever. Now let's compare this to women's day in the life. All right, let's see.
Come spend a 12-hour shift with me on a surgical PCU. I start the shift with getting report and cleaning the wire I'll be using for the day. I like to stock it with flushes and supplies and then go to greet my patients. When I greet my patients, I do the 5 Ps and a quick focus assessment, like assessing any surgical sites if they had surgery. I
Okay, talking,
then like to review lab reports more deeper than I do
reading. Okay.
during reports. So I like to look at orders, charting, requirements, PRN medications, and notes. I like to then start morning med pass at 8 so I can grab the 7, 8, and 9 o'clock due medications. During med pass is when I complete a full assessment. If time permits, I eat a quick
So I've noticed that women, we tend to eat like yogurt, granola, like prepackaged stuff that doesn't really require cooking. Protein shakes if they're healthy, where men actually like make their meals.
breakfast, usually yogurt and fruits.
Yeah, Starbucks is like in every single one of these. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Today I grabbed
Yeah, and so I don't know why we keep saying women can cook better. Like, I don't think we can. It's just not what I've observed. Yeah, women have terrible diets. No work.
the coffee as well, but I usually don't drink any. I'm on a surgical floor, so I administer antibiotics a lot. My patients are also usually NPO for surgery, so these swabs help keep their mouth moisturized. So I went to go grab another snack, and of course I saw pizza. What's up with night shift and pizza? I ate a slice and instantly felt nauseous like I always do on nights. Usually lab comes around 4, but my patient had a PICC line, which means we have to draw their labs. I went ahead and drew her labs at 6 a.m., the same time when her medications were due, so I could disturb her less while she was asleep. I got some water and PRN meds for my patients before shifts changed. I also made sure that no one was soiled and all fluid bags were not close to being empty. I clocked out and changed my shoes. The hospital floor is so nasty, and even today I stepped on urine. So changing shoes is a must, and I headed home. Come spend a 12-hour shift with me
All
on
right.
a surgical.
So, I just keep seeing these videos and I'm like, how can we really compare that we do as much work as the men? And I picked some of the top employers for women, which are like nursing, teaching. Okay. And women keep saying that we do so much work, but then I'm like, all right, show me your work. And then it's not that much work. So I don't know what you guys want from me. So again, full face of makeup, that probably took her an hour. Like to do her hair is curled, full face of makeup, nails done.
Really don't want to go to work today. Like, Sundays are the hardest days to go to work, but the easiest days to work sometimes. So, whatever. Let's go to work with me. I have arrived. Got here at 6 p.m., so I have about 45 minutes to relax, chill in my car, debrief, whatever the fuck I do to help with my pre-shift anxiety, take a nap, all that stuff. So yeah.
She's talking about pre-shift anxiety while the men are on like an oil rig that they could die, right? Yeah, you're saying probably longer. Yeah, and a lot of the women, they clown me, right? They say, Pearl, like I could look better. I could be more presentable. And I totally agree. I totally could. But it's always every day I got to think I could cook breakfast, or I could spend 2 hours on my hair and my makeup, or I could cook breakfast. I do piano lessons every day. So eventually I can like do a really good piano and like guitar for my intro of my show. So it's kind of like you can kind of tell how useful a woman is by how much time she has to get ready. Yeah, you can look better, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think there's, value in it. I think I look better today than most days, but it does take time, right? Now, mind you, look at this is the prepackaged meal. And Alex Stein, he's replying to my tweet saying, but that's what women are best at. Well, show me your work, ladies. Every time I look, it's the men have a lunch that they packed themselves and the women bought one, You know, it's just not really, I don't know, the guys pulling concrete, it just seemed a little bit more difficult. You know? Yeah, you know, like we just, you know, we don't do as hard of jobs. Another one, they say, you know, teaching is the hardest job in the world. Again, let me see this girl. Okay, full screen. Again, full face of makeup, hair done, nails done. Like nails, mind you, that's a couple. There's a reason mine are always plain. I don't feel like sitting there for, I don't know, 3-4 hours every 2 weeks. Botox, that's another time consuming thing. Like all this stuff takes time. Oh, wrong one. Takes time.
Do you want Rainbow You Can Do It or Dynamite?
Yes, no, yes we do. No one did it.
I'm well. How are you?
I haven't even seen any teaching. It's no wonder we can't read. Like we're graduating high school and we like can't even read. Again, prepackaged. Let's see what else is she eating. What's in the lunch? Are you going to show me? What's in the lunch? Okay, that's it. See what I mean? All right, let's see this one. This is a healthcare. So this is a healthcare assistant.
I'm just going to show you a quick day in the life of a healthcare
And full face of makeup. That's going to take her like 1 to 2 hours.
assistant who works 12.5-hour shifts. For reference, I am bank staff because I am a student nurse. I also have a 2-year-old and 11-month-old, so I just got up very early and I left them in bed with their dad. Had a quick coffee, made myself a bagel and then headed to work. And it was a gorgeous sunny day. The wards were absolutely boiling. It was just me having a little pause in the lift if you forgot what I looked like. Then my first...
Okay, noted. Same thing. Like when women eat, it's always nutritionally like not as good as the men. Generally speaking. Less food, more easy stuff.
Break, it was actually at 10 o'clock, so I had some Cocoa Pops and a coffee. Then for my second break, I had this chicken pasta bake.
Yeah. Okay, this she actually looks like she made. I'm gonna give her credit here.
That I make with jalapenos, unreal.
I'm gonna give her credit for that one. That's the best one we've seen so far.
That's the main reason I cannot stop eating, because there's always chocolate on a ward. Always. Make sure to keep myself hydrated throughout the day. I had a lovely shift. It really matters who you work with as well. Just loved everyone who I worked with today. And then I had done 14,778 steps by the time I'd finished. And when I got home, my boyfriend actually got me a pizza. 10 out of 10. Absolute boyfriend points.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, show me where women are cooking and cleaning. I haven't seen it. I think maybe the one girl vacuumed at work. And I even included, so this is a teacher, and this is a fit one, talking about what she eats in a day. And you'll notice it's not a lot of food, it's a lot of drinks. Like we just tend to drink our calories.
Recently is to do a what I eat in a day, and so we're gonna do one. So this is what I eat in a day as a full-time teacher, a content creator, and a person that just loves overall health and wellness. I always start out every single morning with having my greens. I already made them this morning. I use the Clean Simple Eats greens. My favorite flavor right now is the cherry.
Okay, so you got the super green whatever that men, packaged for us to put in drinks so we don't have to make eggs.
I also always have
cook veggies,
a water boy, and that is what I'm sipping on right now. Okay, it is currently 7:30.
Now we go to a smoothie, which again, men manufactured. A lot of the smoothie stuff is pre-cut, so you don't even have to cut your own fruit.
And I am making my smoothie.
And I'm not hating. This girl's diet's actually pretty good. But what I want to show is that we are not cooking and cleaning. We just are not. What I've noticed is women that are neat don't cook or clean, and women that do cook and clean tend to be messy. Have you guys noticed anything different? That's what I've noticed. It's the women I know that are super neat. They like don't cook or clean. Like they just don't really use their kitchen.
For school, I have a recipe on this. It's basically strawberry, pineapple, and mango with Greek yogurt, and I use the world's best protein powder ever, Clean Simple Eats. Once it's fully blended, then I add the scoop of protein powder in, and then I blend it again for 2 seconds. I don't make the rules, but you do in fact need to pour it into a hydro jug. It gives me 35 grams of protein. It's my perfect breakfast. Sometimes if I'm hungrier, I'll also grab like a protein bar, make like some Kodiak waffle. Most of the time I can just have the smoothie and it holds me. It's currently 10:20. It is my prep period right now. I just finished drinking my smoothie. I typically drink it throughout the morning. And now I've moved on to my Starbucks. Yes, a lot of the ice melts before I even get to drink it, sadly. Okay, and
yeah, the Starbucks. Okay, here we got quinoa, broccoli, steak. Okay, this isn't bad. This is actually okay. That's better than most.
This is lunch. It's a
I have to see how she made it, but okay.
Teriyaki beef and then rice, cauliflower rice, and broccoli. Delicious. Okay, I just got back from the gym. It's currently 5:25, and typically at this time I am so hungry. I have a go-to meal that I always make, so I'm gonna make it right now. All right, we are basically cooked.
All right, I'm a little bit impressed.
Let me show you what it is.
Above average.
I always make a stir fry. I do 1.5 servings of pasta. I throw in these fire.
Yeah, see, notice pre-cut, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's pretty convenient, but yeah, they just pay to neatly get everything pre-packaged. No dishes, not much to clean. Yeah. And it's not bad. It's just when you start having kids, then it's more difficult.
Roasted veggies from Trader Joe's. Adele's sausage. These are really good. They're only 160 calories, 12 grams of protein. And then these are the 2 marinades.
Yeah, it's still pre-made.
I have always been a teriyaki and like soy sauce girl. So this is by far my favorite meal. All right, my dinner's done. It's been about an hour. And now I have my go-to dessert, these Hornbulls crumbles. My favorite flavor is the salted fudge. These have 100 calories, 10 grams of protein, and they taste just like a chocolate bar. I have one every single day. The most requested.
Oh, I want those. Those look good, actually. The protein bar thing. Okay. Okay, let's see this one.
Eat today as a 25-year-old high school teacher. I don't count calories or macros or anything, but I just try to eat healthy, well-balanced meals, and I do try to get in quite
Prepackaged.
a bit of protein
Yeah.
in the morning.
Look at what I'm
I
saying.
put my collagen protein in
Men do more energy drinks. They do that, but those aren't really high calorie, and they don't generally substitute it for
my
meals.
coffee, and it's the easiest way to get protein in. You can't even taste it. And then I put my vanilla cold foam and honey in my coffee too. And on the way to work every day, I eat my 4 hard-boiled eggs and drink my coffee. Then for lunch today, I had my peach tea from Half Day Drinks. It was so good and has just a
Yogurt is
little
pretty common.
bit of caffeine in it, so it's the perfect midday pick-me-up. And you already know I had that with my yogurt bowl. And then later in the day, I had this little protein snack mix. And then for dinner time, I had this magnesium Neo. I don't know if it's actually healthy.
I know we do not drink water. I noticed I don't either, to be fair. I don't either, right? But I'm trying to get better, but it's something
but it
I've
tastes
noticed.
freaking good. Paired, of course, my favorite dinner, a salmon bowl, which I've been recently adding mango to, and it's so good. And my little daily vitamins before bed. Good night.
Okay, and versus, let's see what this guy does. Yeah, and if men eat out, they'll do like fast food or a gas station where women will eat like the more expensive version.
Don't worry, I got you, bro.
As a UPS driver.
First thing you know, I start with them protes, but this time I added the peanut butter powder and then
But do you see how it's all slightly more cooked when it's the man? Like, I'm not saying oatmeal's a lot of cooking, but it's more than like a Starbucks drink, right?
some strawberries. Then, since I love my tacos, I make 3 burritos with non-fat Greek yogurt, 93.7 lean ground beef, and then I just close that up with each being 28 grams of protein and 218 calories. And to finish my day,
Yeah, notice less. None of it really is prepackaged except like the protein.
I have a Fairlife shake and a banana. So I heard that you want to know what I eat in a day.
All right, let's keep going. All right, so I wrote down some observations that I have, and I think I'm going to put the link in the chat. And if you guys have observations too, but of just things I've noticed. So women spend money on stuff we don't need, obviously. If we go to a gym, it's always got all this extra bullshit. Like, and I love my bullshit gym, to be fair, but like if I go to Lifetime and it's got a basketball court, you can go swimming. I get my hair cut at Lifetime. It's got a daycare if you got a kid. Women waste more time on their phones. So men generally can get more done in a day because they're not on their phones. Women also, we tend to waste time talking. So we talk to our friends, where men are more silent and don't give their opinion as much. So they have more time, right? Like if it's a female dominated job, we just tend to like talk with our coworkers and whatever. We don't do as much work, and people don't generally correct us for that. Men eat full meals while women snack throughout the day. Women get prepackaged stuff where men will cut the stuff themselves. Women pretty much drink Starbucks every day where men will drink black coffee if they drink out. Women drink their calories. Men are good at routine. And we waste time trying a bunch of different things. So men get good at a few good meals and they just repeat it and they do what works. Where women, we just tend to try one thing, then try another, then try another. Women are addicted to drama. If women do make good money, we spend it. We don't save it. We buy houses we can't afford, causing the entire housing market to go up. Buying Starbucks, Uber Eats instead of cooking, prepackaged food, beauty products we can't afford, like plastic surgery, Botox, nails, hair extensions, going to events instead of work, even traveling. That's time consuming even outside of the money. Men always end up better in the long run, even if the women have more money and status, because men don't make terrible decisions. Men get things done instead of spending time on social media. So if you guys have any observations, let's just, I don't know, some of the stuff I've said. Go to the YouTube, and I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'm going to give it to Doug MPA first. We'll bring up Doug. But really, feminists are spoiled brats. They're brats, you know. What up, Doug MPA?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I love this topic.
Yeah, you know, I just have these observations. And this is where I get frustrated on these shows when they just scream source at me every 5 minutes. I'm like, what source do I need? I have eyes.
That's true.
I mean, I understand the importance of sources, but how do I put it? Like, there's some things like women spend too much money. It's like, did you have a sister? Did you have a wife? Like, what do you mean? I need to prove that? Like, do you not have eyes? You know. So, what do you have any observations that I missed?
We talked about this earlier. We talked about the whole, emotional labor at home thing. That's one of the worst things that feminists are trying to push, because it makes what women are doing seem a lot more important than what men are doing. And here's the thing, guys. A woman will vacuum the floor and what did I say earlier? I said women do chores around the house to do them and get credit for them. Men do the chores around the house to get them done. And once they're done, we don't think about them anymore. That's the biggest difference between it. It's just like in an argument. A man will argue to a solution. A woman will argue until she feels she's done.
And half the time women, like, not that I tell people what to do, but if I was to recommend it, the man should be the one making the plan for how to cook and how to clean the house. And you should teach that to the woman. Because if you put the woman in charge of that, she's just going to find the most time-wasting, inefficient way to do it. You got to think, even if you can't do it yourself, you got to think it through the best way for her to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm like, you got to get the plan from the guy, because I'll even see to myself, I'll think of one way and I'll think it's the best way of how to do something. And, Nuke will just give me a better plan by 10,000. Like, God.
Think about this. Men, we don't have, women will do this emotional labor thing by keeping tally of everything they do in the house. Well, I did this and this and this. Men, we want to get it done. We don't have as much time as women do, so we don't have time to keep tally and keep track. It's like, ladies, if you have enough, you should even have enough time, or you should be solving things so efficiently that you don't have time to think about emotional labor and who's doing what. That's what men do. Men have so many problems to solve. We have to keep the world safe that we don't have time to see what our wives be doing or girlfriend is doing compared to what we're doing. Women have too much time on their hands and then try to make it seem more important. If you have time to keep track and try to tally who's doing what, you have too much time on your hands.
That's true.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Asmodeus?
Asmodeus?
Okay, I'm going to remove you till you figure out your audio. You got to stop the looping.
And then, Steve, you are in the chat. You're backstage, but your device is not connected. You have to connect your audio.
The other thing, too, is we get dogs we can't afford. And we can't even take care of ourselves. Like, really, most women, like, don't know how to take care of ourselves. And I was thinking about how, like, women will, like, brag about taking care of a man, right? But it's usually women that just take credit for how the structure the man, like, gives to her life.
Yep.
Like, she wants the credit. She's like, oh, and I'll see these women in my comment section and they're like, oh, well, I do this for my husband. But it's like, yeah, but he probably built the house in a way that's easy for you to do it, or like organized the house in a very structured way.
Yeah. Or think about this. Women will ask for assistance on what's going on with the house, where women work less stressful jobs, they make less money, and they complain. So a man has to come home and help the woman with her problems at home, but she can't go to the guy's work and help him with the stress at work. So the expectation is you have to give more emotionally, mentally, physically to help a woman with the chores around the house when most women don't work the same dangerous, stressful jobs that men make, and they make less money.
Well, and the problem is we just don't listen. So that's like kind of the
That's a big
challenge.
one.
Yeah, we don't. So like we come up with inefficient ways to do things and we think it's better. So, all right.
Well, because all they have to do is feel like it's the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asmodeus, welcome to the show. Is there something I missed that you have noticed?
Hey, Pearl. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfectly. Where are you calling out of?
I'm in Washington, D.C.
Okay, cool. What industry are you in?
So I work in GovCon finance, so government contracting.
Do you have an accent? Am I hearing that right? Are you from somewhere else?
I mean, I'm from Washington, D.C., but I have a little bit of Boston accent coming from some relatives up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear the Boston.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Asian. I was really off. So.
Well, I'm also Asian, so there's that.
Oh, okay. Oh my god! All right, I'm better than I thought. Okay, so what have you noticed, and where have you noticed it?
I mean, the biggest thing that I would say I noticed is that, I mean, from what I've seen from feminists, I think they focus on bullshit. I think the overall, it's a lot of people who they have so much time on their hands and everything's honestly really fucking peaceful. To just the point where like they are trying to find something to bitch about.
Yeah. Have you seen that like at your work or at home, or like have you seen this in real life too, or is it mostly?
I've seen it in real life for sure. I mean, I've seen it with some of my maybe not direct family, but like family in-laws. Luckily now I work with basically everyone I work with in my team is guys, thankfully. So I don't have to really worry about that. I would say before in my prior jobs for sure, there was a lot of I would say there's a lot more politicking when the department was ran by women versus like if it's ran by a guy, the guy is more boots on ground, knows what's going on and isn't, trying to bullshit. Like he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Versus like the other one's like, oh, I'm trying to find a way to advance my career.
Yeah. Yeah, because the woman's more she cares more about how she looks, where the guy wants to get the work done.
Yeah, I would say that's probably true. But I mean, there was one observation. I mean, I made this I said this to one of my in-laws and I think I pissed them off, but I don't really care. But I told him, a lot of the things that people care about, they will realize that shit doesn't matter. The minute that they had to face like a critical crisis, like a war, like World War II, for example.
Yeah.
I feel like back then everybody had their shit in a row because they realized, oh, we might be conquered. We might lose our land. They may rape our wives, our kids, and shit like that. And they're legitimately a risk. And so people weren't, they didn't care about, what color hair they decided to wear that day or whatever. There's a lot more important things to worry about. And so, I mean, I know you said before that, you don't think that women should have the right to vote. I have a little bit of a different take on it, but it's kind of the same vein.
Sure. Go ahead.
I think voting should be, and this is gonna be a hot button subject, but I think number one, there should be a 2-year mandatory armed services for anybody who want, like, especially men. I mean, we're already in civil service anyway, but I think 2 years of mandatory military service. And I think that military service after that will be the deciding factor on whether or not someone votes. Because I think that if you're gonna make a decision to run the country, you should have a stake in it and know like what actual threats foreign we're actually facing, instead of maybe just consuming it on the news and getting it secondhand. And we know that we can't trust the news or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for calling in. We're going to go to the next caller. All right.
Yep.
Bro, hold on real fast. So, Asila Plunda, either hit the link and call in, or I'm blocking you. you got like 3 minutes because you're talking all this trash. I'm debating, but not. But you're a strong woman. All you do is start cussing. Hit the link and say it to Pearl's face. I'm giving you 2 minutes. If you don't hit the link, I'm blocking you because all you do is trolling. So anyway, go ahead.
I don't even know what she's saying. I didn't see it, but
Yeah,
what's going on, Matt? It's a
Hey,
long
how's it
time.
going? Yeah,
Hey,
I
my
know. It's been a while.
brother from the great white north. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I know. I miss you. Please take me down south where I need to live with you.
Yeah, it's cold this week.
So you mentioned how women buy dogs that they can't afford. Have you ever noticed how I've come across a lot of women who do not know how to take care of animals properly, and yet they want them all, eh? And I've got like 2 stories that are really mind blowing. So I went. So I've been a couple of years ago. I've actually learned how to ride a horse, eh? But before I got to actually riding, I did like 4 years of research on these animals, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time I actually go to ride a horse, there was this one girl who had Canadian Horse Association training and all sorts of shit like that. She was a certified trainer and all that. And I noticed a couple things about how she was handling these animals, and like she was handling horses all her life. And then a couple times so I'm in the forest, I've taken one of their animals out, and I've never ridden a horse before until like now.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed like we get to one particular spot where they have this bridge. And for whatever reason, the horse that she was using leading it just wouldn't cross over this bridge, eh? So she takes out this rope. She's got this rope on her belt, and she's just whipping the shit out of this horse to make it move, and it will not move, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like,
and she's a horse trainer?
She's a horse trainer, yes.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there, she's just whipping the shit out of them. Get going, whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, that's it. So I just get off my horse, and I grab the lead on my horse, and then I go walk up to her, and I grab her lead while she's still on it, and I walk the horse across the bridge. Flawless. Okay.
You know how to train the horse better than the woman who is a horse trainer?
Yeah.
Gee, imagine that.
Yeah.
Actually, it doesn't shock me at all. Like we find the most inefficient ways to do things.
Oh my God. Like this is and then a couple times I don't know how many times I've seen her actually lock her dog in her car. You know, she's kind enough to give a little bit of air room. Like, come on, you know, and like this, and she's telling me one day she has a cat, and with her roommate, and she was total bitch. Goes and runs off, and they're trying to find this fucking cat or whatever it is, and she tells me about how she got it, and I'm like, it's not hard to get a cat, okay? All you got to do is just sit there, zen out, be nice and calm, and they'll come to you. You know, it's that simple. You know, my mom had lost our cat on the highway one day when we were out she was going to the cottage, and somehow, I don't remember how it happened, my cat managed to jump out of the box and out of the car and ran off into the bush. And my mom is just hysterical trying to get her cat back, eh? So my dad and I walk out there, and
you gotta hurry it up, Matt, because we have like 5 people on the line. But go ahead.
Shit, yeah, sorry. And it's just she just couldn't get it. So I just sat back and was like, look, I just sit on the tree, and the cat just walks up to me. It's just like it's not hard to work with animals, you know. And I find that a lot of women just can't do it.
No, do you know what? I've even like my dog listens better to men than to me. I mean,
you know what's crazy? If you see videos of people whose dogs attack people, it's normally a woman's dog.
Oh yeah. I go to, if I see a pit bull with a woman, I'm like,
run.
Run, exactly.
Not today.
Cool. All right, buddy. We're gonna move on our next caller because this person I was telling the call is calling in. So I was gonna talk to you, my brother. See ya.
Yeah, see ya.
See ya. Who is
okay?
who is it?
this Asila Esplenda.
Yeah, you got to turn your camera on, lady.
We got to make sure you're a real
Camera,
person.
yeah, camera
Just
on.
turn off for a second.
For a second.
Okay,
I mean, stay with your chest. Like, what the fuck? Like,
because she was saying a lot of stuff in the chat.
yeah, because they can always do it behind a screen, but if you got something to say it with your chest. I'll go to Borders while we let her. All right, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. Is there something that I didn't mention this stream that you have noticed when it comes to women doing things really inefficiently?
Sort of. I mean, look at Ronda Rousey.
The MMA fighter. Yep.
Yeah, it's inevitable. Like
her so-called
like my sisters were in softball. They were in sports, but you know what they didn't do? Like they didn't compete with me. My sister wrestled with me. Like I've never had a woman versus men argument. The only argument that I've had is that, I mean, like the argument that you've kind of had in kind of a way, but like they really do just want to take away from what we have to offer in competition. I mean, you guys have competition. You were a professional basketball player. Like you've been in college, you've done the thing. It takes effort. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
But like when dudes are laying dudes down versus when women are laying men down, I mean, you gotta split it. It's gotta be one way. You have to tell it like it is.
Yeah.
I mean, my sister doesn't wrestle me and she doesn't compete with me. Like, but we have an understanding. Like we both have fun because it's fun. Sports are supposed to be fun. I thought it was about fun.
Yeah. Thanks for
and
calling.
Nobody's having fun anymore. Nobody's having fun anymore. Everything has to be decided. Everything has to be decided. Everything has to be, 1v1. I'm like, dude, like what? I'm like, dude, I thought we were having fun. You played basketball. We both. I mean, I played basketball. We've been in sports. We can have fun.
All right.
But what we don't do is do the one thing that they want to do. Yeah.
All right, thanks for calling in. I gotta go to the next one. All right. All right. Asila. What up, Asila? What are you gonna put your camera on? Or what?
Asila, are you there?
I need your camera on. Alyssa. All right, I'm gonna drop you and then you can try again later. All right, we're gonna move on.
How's it going?
Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Brian, you got
There's some kind of feedback or something.
You guys got to fix your audio. All right, Sean.
Hey, how's
What
it
up,
going?
Sean? I'm good. How are you?
Doing well.
All right, tell me, is there something I missed on the stream where you have noticed that women are just incredibly inefficient at something?
Yeah, I mean, I would say when it comes to, I think you hit on the main ones, but anything that requires real manual labor, whether it's like yard work, things like that, right? Like fixing up cars, but I think it's usually things that women know they can get away with not doing, and they can kind of offload to men. So, I mean, if you look at, right, when women usually, you say some of that feminist nonsense, like, I don't need no man, it's because they outsource all the things that are incompetent to men, whether it's your house is on fire, I need a firefighter to come over to put it out, right? Someone's attacking me, I need a big, strong man to come over and help me, right? From the police department, or, my car's having issues, right? When's the last time you've seen women on the highway jacking up their car and replacing the tire? Or jump starting their car, right?
You know what I was thinking about? I bet women buy houses and when it breaks down too much, they just sell it.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
No, that's true. I've seen that.
At all.
Have you? Okay, I was thinking, I'm like, they probably just get too much stuff, fill it up, and then can't fix anything and then sell it.
Or Pearly, even worse. The luxury car market. So
yeah.
women, they buy cars they can barely afford, and to afford it, they don't do any other maintenance. So you have a BMW or a Mercedes or a freaking Infinity or something. No oil changes, no nothing.
Yeah, if I go to major cities, I see more women in sports cars than men now.
Yeah,
I definitely
100%.
like when I was in LA, I 100% saw more women in sports cars than men.
Yeah, Doug has a good point. When it comes to cars in particular, most women don't even do the routine maintenance that need to be done. Like if they have a boyfriend, then they can get that guy to do it. But if they're single, they just drive it until it becomes a headache, and then they just sell it and they just take the loss.
I have a
and
story
get a new
about that.
car.
So you guys probably don't remember, but Jeep had a model called a Jeep Liberty, right? It replaced the Jeep Cherokee. And my sister's friend got a brand new 2004 Jeep Cherokee. Her dad bought it for her for graduating college. She drove 28 or 30,000 miles or something like that. No oil change. All the oil burned out and the engine seized up. She's like, I don't know what happened. There's something wrong with my car. They brought her in there and there's no oil in the car. And they're like, well, have you ever got your oil changed? She's like, what do you mean? What's that?
Man, I dated this one girl, and she's from California. She's very like eco-friendly, and she started using diesel in her car. And her rationale was the pump is green, and I want to help the environment. And I'm just looking at her like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I mean. We just found the most inefficient, stupid ways to do. Like it just amazes me how dumb we can be. Just as a group.
But I think it's because they act on emotion, right? Like so they'll get cars like I don't know. Do you remember what is it? That buggy? It's like a Volkswagen. Like I forget what they call it, but it's like a cute looking girl car. They'll drive it in ways like across the interstate and things like that those cars are not really meant for. They're really meant for more in city type of driving. But they will buy the car because it looks cute. It looks like the lifestyle of what they want to show on Instagram and whatnot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's really the focus of how they view the world is what fits what makes me feel good versus needing
what's
to compete.
practical, what works.
Exactly. Like guys will, drive something that's practical that they can afford, and girls will drive something they can't afford. And in their mind, they can always find a man who can bail them out.
I had a friend that bought a house from a single mother with 2 kids, and his allergies were acting up. He's like, I don't know what's going on. So he unscrewed all the places where you're supposed to have filters in the house, and there were no filters. None. He's
I totally see that.
What the heck is going on here? Yeah, no filters. I think there are 3 places in the house where there's supposed to be filters. No filters.
Yeah.
I mean, something I noticed is like when it comes to like major purchases, like buying a house, women really don't think it through. Like they're not thinking about the interest rate. They're not thinking about.
The first woman I know that bought a house had 6 figures in debt already when she bought it.
Yes.
That's incredible.
But honestly, guys, one of the biggest. So, I can tell you, being in my mid 40s, there are less women that are. I know you see it a lot on social media, but there are actually less women addicted to material things. Professional women are addicted to a lifestyle more than they are material things. So that's why you see women, they spend their monies on traveling and all these quote unquote experiences while they're staring down $150,000 in debt. You'll see a woman who has $150,000 in student loan debt, but has been to 30 different countries.
Oh,
why didn't you use that money to pay off your student loan?
Incredible. And the other thing too is traveling a lot, because I think in like 2023, I traveled a ton for work, and there's just no way you can develop like basics. Like there's a lot of basic skills you miss out on when you're traveling a lot. Like you're not really going to cook a lot. You're not really going to maintain your house that well. It's just very difficult to when you're in and out of the country, or in and out. For me, it was in and out of the country all the time. But it's just so time consuming, and you spend a bunch of money. So
Yeah, I mean, there's an old saying. It's like I think it was from Eddie Murphy, but it was basically women will not go back in lifestyle.
Mhm.
So once they've dated a guy or they've, they themselves have lived in a house or an apartment that's this nice, they're never going back. You know what I mean? Like they're not going back to living in a dorm or an apartment once they've lived in a very nice house or a nice condo. So in their minds, even if they can't afford to buy it, but if they can afford a outrageous mortgage payment or rent, they'll like let's say 5,000 a month, they'll rather just do that, and they'll do it until they hopefully meet a guy who they can buy it with.
Or guys, here's the thing. Like you see a woman's online dating profile and they'll do all this traveling. First off, when you get to know her, she's going to keep traveling and expect you to go with her. So you're going to have to at least be able to afford your travel. Then when you get serious, she's going to expect you to pay for her travel and your travel. Most women that you meet nowadays, they're not going to go back on lifestyle, and they want a man to be able to pay for their lifestyle so they can keep doing it.
100%. But it's what I've always found it so weird is that these women, as they get older, they expect way more. You know what I mean? Like when they're young, they don't expect this from guys. Like, but they'll sleep around.
I don't know
and they'll
about
do
that
all these
anymore,
things.
dude.
But when they'll get it well into their 30s, like
young
now
women
they're
have
like
the highest expectations they've ever had now. So
yeah, but you still see them screw the guy who works at the 7-Eleven or at Jiffy Lube. You know what I mean?
Let's keep
Bruh,
Sean on.
Ascilla, fuck off. I mean, seriously. And your co-host doesn't. No, you turn on the camera because I told you to, and this is my show. If you don't want to turn it on, then fuck off. It's like women. You got. I'm gonna remove everyone because I just want to rant about this. You guys make me sexist because you're so unlikable and bitchy. Do you see? There's a guy in the back room, right? And I said, turn your camera on. I was talking to the girl, and the guy said, okay, and he just turned his camera on, right? And the girl, like this, you guys make me sexist because like the guy, he doesn't bitch. He doesn't say, oh, well, this guy doesn't have his camera on. He just listens, right? He's like smiling right now. He's in the back room and he's smiling. He's ready to come on. And yeah. Look he's showing his dog on camera. He's, now she's asking questions instead of just listening. And it's like, I see why men get driven, like go crazy with you people, you ladies, it's like, this should not be this difficult. And again, there's a likable way to do things, right? There's a way to do it that's like accommodating, right? She could have come out and been like pleasant. And if, let's say she didn't want to turn her camera on, say, hey, I'm really worried. I'd really love to do that. But blah, blah, blah. Is it possible I just show my face behind the screen, or I show my face, but it's not on the screen? There's ways around it that you could be pleasant and likable. Does that make sense? Like you can do it in a pleasant way. But women, I mean, do you really think you're going to get your way by being a bitch to me? Like, I'm just going to bring on the guy. Now she's asking me all these questions. Why would I answer them when you're being a bitch? But nobody in your life is ever going to tell you how unpleasant, unlikable, and bitchy you are. But I promise you, your friends and family think it. I promise to God they do. This is what happens when women don't, listen to men or take correction. You become an unpleasant woman in my comment section. It's just incredible. Isn't this incredible? Let's see. She's going to keep going. I am likable. Really? I can't tell. I can't tell. She says, when was I a bitch? It's just incredible how little self-awareness women have. It's just like the most, like, women are just incredibly so unself-aware. It actually baffles me every day. You're not likable in the slightest. Now look, either get your camera on or get the fuck out of my show, bitch. Shut the like. now she's saying, well, my mom says I'm an asshole. Yeah, but that's what I said. You torture your family and your friends by your personality. And I can tell based on how you're talking, right? I can tell you torture everybody around you. I can just tell. But the challenge is women like you have so much power because you're so unpleasant and unlikable that everyone has to walk on eggshells around you because you're such a bitch and everybody knows that you're going to react, right? And so everybody's going to cater to you and you're going to go through your whole life not knowing how much of a bitch you are. And then you come to my show and now it's my problem. So either get your camera on or get out of the content or the comment section. Is she gonna become more pleasant or is she gonna double down? I wonder. Anyways, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to choose. And if you don't get your camera on by the end of the 10 seconds, at least behind the screen, I'm just gonna kick you. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kicked. Done. Kick from studio. Yeah, it's just incredible. It's so incredible how unpleasant these women can be. Now look this is the smiling guy. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. I said get the camera on. Did you argue with me about my co-host? No, look at him. He's just happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Happy to see a huge fan.
Thanks for calling in. What have you noticed that women are really inefficient at?
Inefficient.
Yeah, that I didn't cover, or maybe that you could expand upon.
I don't think about it as like efficiency. I think there's.
What are women bad at? How about that compared to men? What are men better at that? Like women always say that women are better at.
I think emotion regulation. I think sometimes seeing from other people's perspectives, but I think that's just kind of a man and woman trait.
Mm-hmm.
I love women. The problem I have is with American women specifically.
Of course.
And that I think they tend to be very masculine, and their orientation in a relationship is to be a leader. That's what they've been told at this point since they were like little girls, that they're meant to be leaders and meant to lead the world. And we've seen, in one generation, what a certain perspective and ideology when it's taught to young people can do. And you're right, women are outperforming men, and men are committing suicide at insane rates. And when I speak to women from different countries, it's almost like I'm stepping in a time capsule to 100 years ago when women were more feminine and understood like that they were the yin to the yang, and understood like being a part of a whole, but also being led by a man is a healthy thing and not a negative thing, right?
What countries have you talked to?
I was engaged to a Brazilian.
Okay.
I was married to a Turkish woman.
So as
I think about this, the common denominator is probably me. And right now I'm talking to a woman from Czechia, which she doesn't like when I say that. It's Czech Republic, which I'll just say Czech Republic.
Yeah, because Chechnya and the Czech Republic are two different countries, bro.
No, Czechia. That's they've changed the name to. She went through the whole thing, so they changed the name to make it like more palatable or something. But she's adamant that it's the Czech Republic. But you could look it up.
But there is a country called Chechnya because there's like a dictator named Ramzan.
Chechnya. There's Chechnya. Yeah,
I
think it's Czechia.
Elena, mid of the year. You can also call in. I see you bitching in the comments section. But I require two things. You need to have a smile as big as his when you get on. and you got to have your camera on. I don't, there's regulars I allow to not, but in general, we need cameras on. So, okay.
How often do you do this show, Pearl?
I mean, the call-ins, I don't do that out often, a few times a month, but maybe like maybe like 2 or 3 times a week I stream.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, very cool. You know, I gotta say, like, your arguments, I really agree with. I've followed you from the very beginning. I'm a huge fan of you, and I've seen, I don't know what you've done lately, but I've seen like a huge glow up. I think you look amazing, and I think you're just an amazing woman, and I just want to tell you that.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching the show and supporting.
Yeah, huge supporter, big fan.
Thanks. All right, we're gonna go to the next.
How pleasant of a call that
Cheers,
was.
that was pleasant. What a pleasant guy.
What a nice
ladies. That's how you come in. Like I think there's just basic manners. Maybe we could go through basic manners. You can come in and you just say, "Hey, nice to meet you. I'm so and so." A smile. And then even if you disagree, you can do it in a polite way. But, you know, women just can't do it.
It's the worst part about these women is, guys, you'll end up with a woman. I remember a whatever clip where Andrew Wilson was talking about why women don't want to obey. They'll obey their boss, but not their husbands. And this girl was like, "Well, see, my boyfriend, I had to do what I wanted, and he had to fix enough of my problems where I finally realized that he knows what he's talking about."
I kind of wonder that if you gave a woman a paycheck every 2 weeks, if they would behave better. You know what I mean?
I think
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
Nope. No. Once a woman walks through the door of the house, it's over. Like she's not gonna listen to anything a man says in that house. It's just not gonna happen. Nope. Not an American woman.
Hold on. I'm gonna show the ladies basic manners for disagreements. All right, let's see what I spelled disagreements wrong. All right. Listen first. Stay respectful. No insults, name calling, or sarcasm. Disagree with ideas, not people. Use I statements instead of you always. Keep your tone calm. Volume and attitude matters as much as words. Acknowledge their point. Even a simple, I get why you think that helps. Stick to the topic. Don't drag in old issues or unrelated complaints. Be open to being wrong. Disagreement isn't a competition. Know when to pause. If emotions rise, it's okay to say, let's talk later. End respectfully. Agree to disagree if needed. It says they can simplify this for children, and I think that would be really great for the ladies. So, you know, you try again to the women that, you know, are trying to call in.
You know what I find very interesting? It's like women don't behave unless they see you as a higher authority figure. You know what I mean? Like if you're their dad or you're their boss or you're like, I don't know, the president or whatever it is, like they'll act right in front of you and when engaging with you. But if they see you as at the same level as them or beneath that, then they will act entitled. I don't know if it's a cultural thing here or what.
I think every woman has like 4 personalities. There's the work personality, the lover personality, like lover as in fuck buddy personality, the husband personality, and maybe the family personality. I could expand upon this. I'd have to think about it more, but that's what's coming to my head. Because like the fuck buddy's going to see a completely different woman than the husband. You know what I mean?
That's so true.
Yeah, like the husbands don't even know their wives, but the fuck buddies do. Because the fuck buddies, the women don't really care about marrying, so we'll just be ourselves. That's way too hard for them, I know.
That is so true. I mean, there's girls that I've hooked up with on the first date that were so nice and just looking for fun with me, and then so demanding with the next guy who they were demanding marriage from. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Actually, that could be a show. I'm going to write that down. We're going to do modern women have, it's going to be modern women have 5 personalities.
The archetypes.
Yeah. Yeah. We keep going on that different day. All right, next we got Jason. Welcome to the show. Thanks for, being pleasant and having your camera on as men do. Ladies, take notes. Yeah, sorry. All right, so is there anything that women are bad at that I missed? Or if there's any other thoughts you had based on the conversation we were having, feel free.
Well, the whole point is to get men and women to, be better together, correct?
Oh, not here.
Not here, huh?
Yeah, it's someone else's channel. I just accept the way things are going. So.
Well, I don't want to bash on anybody.
Well, then you got to go find another show. Sorry.
But it's kind of telling, right? Like,
no, I know you're pleasant, so no disrespect, but I just don't.
It's so telling, though. He's like, I don't want to tell the truth because the truth doesn't sound good to what women want to hear. But if you ask him the reverse, he'd be like, oh, well, there's this and there's that.
And we already know where that raft is floating, man. Come on.
I at least have a profile picture. What do you mean demand marriage? Well, I mean, we bang men and then we're like, nah, you don't have to marry us because you have a good body and let's just sit on that thing, whatever. And then we go to the next guy and we say, well, you took my best years, and then, cry that we didn't get marriage from him or something, even though we're doing the same thing as the other guys.
There was a comedian, I can't remember the name, but he basically was saying is that, women will put a lot of miles on their car, and then when they're ready to settle down with the guy who's the best value proposition to them at that time, they like roll the odometer back to like near zero and they want to sell it for market price.
Well, you could, there are ways to do that, right? To sell a used car for a higher price. It does happen, but you're supposed to add like features to the car, like I was thinking about it. And the problem is if you're older as a woman and it's like, you have no skills that you can offer a man, like you can't cook, you can't clean, you overspend money, like you have nothing to offer him. And it's like, what have you been doing the last decade? It like the women that I've seen that like come out on top of like, because there are women that sell for a higher price. It's rare though. They come out with like, they're usually in like a 10-year relationship and they just got a lot of skills from it and then they resell or something. I don't know, maybe you guys have seen different.
I mean, I've seen some girls who they just drop a ton of weight. They,
oh, that's a good one.
Get a new pair of tits, get a new wardrobe, put a bunch of makeup on, and then start marketing.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah,
that's
they do
cool.
the whole. I'm divorced. I'm breaking up with him, so I'm gonna show him by doing what I should have done to keep him in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the delusional ones who are like, let me get another master's degree. Right. So
that's a whole different show. When women go through a heartbreak or any kind of adversity, they run back to school and put themselves another $60,000 to $80,000 in debt.
Yeah. Well, if you're smart as a girl, every relationship you get into, you should be learning something. Like, even like there should be, men have so much to teach you if you pay attention. Like you can learn a lot. And I'm not even like talking sexual. Like if you look at how men men can teach you how to work out better. They can teach you how to eat better. They can teach you how to take care of your house better. Like if you actually listen as a woman, you can become a better woman by the end of a relationship or even situationships. Men love teaching. Like men, like they never get asked for their opinion. So they love, like, men love teaching things. So
Yeah.
you
Well,
could go that route. Most women don't, but you know.
and that's why that whole mansplaining term is so awful. Like, you'll see a woman struggling or doing something inefficiently, and you'll go up and say, "Excuse me, miss, maybe you trying to mansplain to me?"
Yeah. No,
Like,
like if you really listen, or if you really listen to, it doesn't even have to, like, you can learn from most men in your life as a woman if you really, and especially if you ask their opinion on, like if you ask a guy the way he would think to do something and why he would think that, you can like learn a lot as a girl, because they usually think of things that you just would never think of.
yep, agreed.
Yeah.
But you know what I'll say is the girls who already know to do that, like to know to ask men for advice, those are usually like the best kinds of girlfriends to begin with.
Yeah.
Because like they've learned growing up like to respect male authority and to look up to them for guidance. So the fact that we have so many women out there that are just acting such ridiculously, thinking that they're independent and they can make their own mistakes and all this other stuff, kind of shows you that, you know, they're already kind of cooked from the start. It's hard to train them to do the opposite, you know? Like you meet a girl who's 30 plus and, you know, she's been doing her own thing, although be it stupidly, for such a long time. The idea that she's now going to turn around and start, you know, asking for advice, trying to improve, she's probably going to double down.
No, exactly. That's what I was saying. The women I've seen that are able to resell for a higher price, usually they can't, but so, you know, occasionally I'll be devil's advocate today and say occasionally it does happen. It's like usually a high school or college boyfriend, they've learned how to be a really good wife from that and like learned a lot of stuff. Taken that, all the stuff that guy taught her, and then used it on someone else. Sorry, fellas, you're dead to us after, unfortunately. Hate to say it, but that does. We're ruthless, you know.
You know what's crazy is like if you meet girls that are like single moms and you know they've basically never been married, they got knocked up by their high school boyfriend or what have you. Even till this day, if you were to ask them, hey, if you could do it over again, like, you know, would you still have gone the route you went? 9 times out of 10, they will say, you know, it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I wouldn't change a thing. But if you were to ask the guy, they'd be like, yeah, I would have, you know, used a condom. Like I wouldn't have done that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like the women will double down just off of emotion. And the guys will be like, yeah, that was stupid. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Well, all right. I think that's all I got on the topic today, unless you guys got anything else. Doug MPA, you got anything?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything. Guys, like, you got to find a woman that will just listen to what you have to say at the beginning, because you will save yourself so much time. Don't do this thing where a woman makes mistakes and you fix it. Because once you start that dynamic, you're going to have to live that the entire time that you're with a woman. And also, don't let a woman control the household if you choose to live with a woman. Because that's how guys get nagged. That's how they start to see emotional labor, tallying stuff. Like, in fact, just don't live with a woman, period. How about that?
You know what? Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, maybe let her fail. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. You got any final thoughts, Sean?
Yeah, I would say, you know, I echo what Doug kind of says is like, you know, don't live with a girl, to be honest. Like, I think the boyfriend dynamic of specifically not living with a girl, I think that's where relationships tend to have their sweet spots. And quite frankly, like, you know, anyone who's dated, you know, girls who are divorced, many times, you know, and, you know, they may have kids or what have you, they're actually easier to deal with. And part of the reason is because they have kids and they have like shared responsibilities with their husband.
Mhm.
They're not going to live with you at pretty much any point in the near future. And that's why many times you'll have a better dating dynamic with them versus if you're living with a girl who's single, right?
Well, and the ex-husband's paying for all her stuff for the child support. So you get like usually someone else is taking care of the kids, actually, like the parents or something.
Oh, that's so true.
And then like you don't have to pay for her stuff. Like I was talking to a guy recently and he was talking about how the single mother, he really liked the single mother, and he really thought about dating her because she would do all this stuff, and like she would come over whenever he wanted. And I'm like, who's watching the kids? Like, that doesn't make sense. And then he was talking about how she would buy him stuff, and I'm like, indirectly, isn't he buying you stuff because she's taking child support? Like, isn't it like she's not really doing anything? Like, if you think about it, her parents are watching the kids, so she's available, and then the ex-husband's paying for your stuff. Isn't that incredible? Like,
Yeah, I would say usually the way it works is really what they're looking for you is they're looking for sex primarily, and they're looking for a little attention when they have time. And it means that like all the normal asks of you in a relationship, all the nonsense that women normally ask for, she just doesn't have time for it. And she learns how to take care of herself, right? She learns how to cook and do laundry because she has kids to manage and things like that. So ironically, you're dealing with a girl who's asking less of you in many cases, but at the same time actually has like home economic skills.
hey, yeah, pump and dump these single mothers, fellas. There's nothing wrong with spending a few months with, Becky with the 3 kids. I don't see a problem. So somebody's got to bang them. It might as well be you.
Yeah, the only thing bad, guys, if you slip up, she had a couple other guys' kids, and she'll have yours too. So you gotta be careful.
They're men. They can, they can figure it out. Like, if they really, So, all right, thanks, guys. All right. Yeah, but feminists are spoiled brats who'll always complain. Now we can Uber Eats, we can DoorDash dick. Isn't that incredible? You can get you used to have to get dolled up and go to the bar and talk to the hot guy you wanted to bring. I mean, not that it was that hard, but it's kind of incredible. Now you can just post a picture online and DoorDash top tier dick. Even when you were a peasant back in the day, the king had to see you. You can just DoorDash the king now. Isn't that incredible? And yet we're still complaining, right? You can rob men legally. You can steal their kids legally, and we still complain. Incredible. Millionaire women from talking are crying and saying that we're oppressed. Incredible. So make sure you I know. DoorDash the king. Yeah, that's what I mean. Top 5% of men. We can just DoorDash dick. Why go out there? We can work from home. We can do sales jobs from home. So it'll never be enough. We're never happy. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I love you guys. And make sure you like so these streams get pushed out because I do get suppressed. I'll see you guys.